In the previous lecture, we have learned about the cost of debentures, and we have also learned that the cost of debentures are divided into two parts. One is your redeemable debentures and one is your irredeemable debentures. In the previous lecture, we learned about irredeemable debentures, and today in this lecture, we are going to learn about the redeemable debentures. So we have already done what do you mean by redeemable debentures. Redeemable debentures means whenever the company has to pay back the amount at the maturity period. So that will be considered as your redeemable debentures. In redeemable debentures, company is going to pay the interest annually, and at the stipulated period of time, the company is going to give back the amount that he has borrowed from the investors. We have already done two illustrations in the previous video. Now in this video, let's go with the third illustration. So the illustration says that X Limited issues 15% debentures having a face value of rupees 100 each, which are to be redeemed after 10 years at a premium of 10%. The debentures are issued at a discount of 5%. So you have to calculate the cost of debt. The first case is when no taxes are there, and second case is when the taxes are there. So since over here it's given that say 15% debentures of rupees 100 each. So 100 is your face value. So what we have to remember whenever we calculating the interest, so interest is always calculated on the face value. So your interest will be 15 rupees. So if we talk about only interest, so every year the company is going to pay 15 rupees interest. Now since this is a question for the redeemable debentures, as the company is going to repay back the money because it's written redeemed after 10 years. So your time period will be 10 years. Now whenever you are doing the redeemable question, you have to remember the first thing that we have discussed, that the first is your fixed rate of interest. So fixed rate of interest is 15%. So my interest paid will be rupees 15 every year till 10 years. Second is your redeemable value. So your debentures are redeemed at a premium of 10%. So instead of 100, the company is going to pay 100 plus 10% of 100, which is rupees 10. So your redeemable value will be 110. Third thing that we have to remember, at what price the company has issued the debentures. So company has issued the debenture at a discount of 5%. So which means instead of 100, company is getting giving a discount of 5%. So company is getting 95 rupees. And your tax rate is 50%. So that means government is charging 50% tax. Or you can say if the company is issuing the debentures, company is getting 50% tax shield. So if we see the timeline, interest will be paid till 10 years, and at the end of 10 years you will get the interest. That means company is going to pay the interest to the investors, plus company is going to pay the maturity value also. And at this time, at the zero time period, company is going to issue the amount, or you can say company will borrow the amount at this time period. So as we all know that company is borrowing the amount at this time period, and company is going to repay back the interest at the end of year 1. Company is going to pay the interest at the end of year 2. Till 10 years company is going to pay back the interest. Now if you will see, the cash flow is regular. After every equal interval of time, company is giving the interest. And the time period is also known, that company is paying the interest at 10 years. So this question is forming the part of annuity, because the interest is paid till the limited period of time, and the distance between two interest paid is equal. So it's a regular interval of time. So this is forming a part of annuity. So let's start with it. Now we have also discussed that whenever we are solving the cost of debt, in case of redeemable debentures, there are two different methods to solve it. One is your approximation method, and second is your net present value method. So first of all, we are going to do it by approximation method. So in the timeline, since every year the company is going to pay interest, so the interest will be 15 rupees every year. So company is paying interest. At the end of first year is 15, at the end of second year is 15. So till 10th year company is going to pay 15 rupees as an interest, and on the 10th year company is also going to pay 110 as a redeemable value. And at the 0 time period, since the company is issuing the debentures and the issue price is 95. So these are the items that we require for any question, whether we are doing the question by approximation method or we are going to do the question by your net present value method. So first of all, let's go with the question when no taxes are there. So whenever no taxes will be there, instead of T, since no taxes are there, so what we are going to do? We are going to write 0. So this is your formula. KD will be equals to interest 1 minus T, redeemable value minus sale value, or you can say issue value, divided by N. N means number of years, whole divided by RV plus SV divided by 2. Where our annual interest paid, as we have already discussed, is rupees 15. Your redeemable value is 110. Your number of years to maturity is 10 years, and sale value, or you can say your issue price, is 95. Since in this question no floating cost is there, so that's why we have not subtracted it. So now we are going to put all these values in the formula. So it becomes KD is equals to 15. Instead of T, I have put 0. So 15 multiplied by 1 will be 15. 110 minus 95 upon 10. So it will be your 15 plus 1.5 upon 102.5. So it comes out to be your interest KD is 16.098. So you just remember that your KD when no taxes are there is 16.098. Now we are going to do it when taxes are there. So again the same formula and all the information will be same. So now instead of T we are going to put 0.50. So it will be 15, 1 minus 0.50 and everything is same. Redeemable value is 110, sale value is 95 and number of years is 10. So if we are going to solve this, our answer is going to be 8.7. Now if you will observe, when the taxes were there, your cost will be, cost of debt is 16 point something. But right now, since the government is giving 50% tax rebate, my cost of debt becomes to be 8.7, which is nearly half of what that we are paying in the previous part when the government is not charging any taxes. So the government, whenever the government charges taxes, and all those companies who issue debentures, bonds and loans, they get the tax shield and their cost is reduced. Now next method that we are going to do it, present value method. Now in the present value method, first case we are going to do when no taxes are there. So when no taxes are there, interest is 15 as we have already discussed. My redeemable value is 110. Number of years is 10 years. Sale price is 95. Everything remains same. Same is a number line. Now you are paying the interest of 15 every year and at the time of maturity 110 will be your redeemable value. And at the time of issue, you are issuing the debenture at the rate of rupees 95 per debenture. Now, since the method says present value method, so what we have to do? We have to convert each and every outflow into the present value. So, first of all, I am going to convert 15. Since we are paying the interest at the end of year 1, so first of all, we are going to convert rupees 15 into the present value. Then next 15 into the present value and then third year amount that we are paying into the present value. Similarly, we are going to convert all the cash outflows into the present value. Now, since we have already discussed the equation of the present value, so net proceeds from debt, or you can say your issue price, will be equals to interest 1 that we have paid at the end of year 1, 1 minus T upon 1 plus KD. Now over here cost of debt, this KD will be your market price, whatever the price is prevailing in the market, or you can say KD will be what price the other companies are paying. So what is the cost if the investor purchase the debentures from your company? What is the cost for you for that? Or what you can say from the investor's point of view, what is the cost for the, what kind of cost the investor is going to earn. Now I2 is your interest paid at the end of year 2, again 1 minus t upon 1 plus kd raised to power 2, because we are converting the interest that we have paid at the end of second year into the present value. Similarly, in 1 minus t plus rn upon 1 plus kd raised to power n. Now in this question, we have already discussed that your net proceeds is 95, 15 is your interest, 1 minus t plus redeemable value is 110. Now what we are going to do, we are going to calculate this KD. Now what we have done, instead of, if you will observe this thing, I have done it with the help of horizontal. I have done it with the help of equation. Now just to make your life easy, what I have done, I have converted the complete equation into the vertical form. In the first part, I am going to write years. Now since the debentures are redeeming in 10 years, so what I have done in under the year part, I have just written 10 years. 1 represents you the amount at the end of year 1, at the end of 2, so on, so till 10 years. Now we are paying interest of rupees 15 every year, so I have just written an amount column 15 for 10 years, and in the 10th year we are also paying interest as well as our redeemable value. So that's why I've written 10 two times, and one time I am paying the interest and the second time I am paying the 110 rupees as your redeemable value. Now whenever we are doing the present value method, the first thing is we have to take randomly any rate of interest. So now in this question, I am just supposing that I am paying 10% market rate of interest, or you can say KD is 10%. It is just an supposition. You can take 11%, 12%, 15%, 9%, whatever you wish, you can just take it. I have taken 10% so that the calculations become easy. So now what we have to do, we have to calculate the present value factor. So this is 0.909 is a present value factor. Now let's see how we are going to calculate the present value factor. Now what you have to do, now since it is a present value factor at the 10%, so what we have to do, 10% instead of 10, I can just do it 100 divided by 110. Now if we will observe, the first present value factor comes out to be 0.909. Now what you have to do, you have to just press multiply once and then equals to. Second factor is 826, 0.826 and 0.826. Third factor, just press one time more, is 0.751 and again equals to 0.683, 0.621, 0.564, 0.513, 0.466, 0.424, 0.385. So since the present value factor at the end of 10th year is 0.385, so at the end of 10th year, whether I am paying the interest or whether I am paying the redeemable value, my present value factor remains same. Now the next step is we have to multiply these two. That means 15 multiplied by 0.909, I'll calculate the present value. And once you will sum up, you will get 134.48. So that means if the KD is 10%, my value of the debenture, which I am going to sell it right now, should be 134.48. But if you will observe or you remember that my issue price was 95. But over here with the help of 10%, if I suppose that KD is 10%, my answer should be 134. That means which is wrong. In the question, the answer is given to be 95. That question says the issue price is 95, but my issue price is coming out to be 134.48. So that means 10% is not your answer. We have to just suppose the second alternative number. So now the question arises whether I should suppose the 10%, whether I should suppose 9%, I should suppose 15%, 20%, or what should be my next target. So now let's understand with the help of a small example. Suppose the face value of debenture A is rupees 100. That means the company is issuing the debenture at rupees 100, and we also know that company pays the interest at the face value only. Company never pays the interest when the shares are issued at a discount or at a premium. That means if the company is issuing the debenture at a discount of rupees 95, company is not going to give the interest on 95, or if the company is issuing the premium of rupees 110, a company is not going to pay the this interest on 110. Company will always pay the interest on the face value. And let's say coupon rate is 10%, so that means company A is giving you the interest of rupees 10. Now suppose the market rate of interest is 20%. That means I can say market rate of interest means I am saying KD is 20%. The other company is selling the same debenture and the coupon rate for the other company is 20%. That means if an investor is going to invest in some other company, the investor is going to get rupees 20. Now, if an investor is going to invest in debenture A, the interest received is rupees 10. But similarly, if the same investor is going to invest in debenture B, the interest he will receive is rupees 20, because in the other company is paying 20% as a coupon rate. Market rate of interest is 20, other company is paying 20% interest. So my company A is paying 10 rupees as an interest, company B is paying rupees 20 as an interest. So as an investor, I am never going to purchase debenture A, because debenture A is taking rupees 100 and giving me 10 rupees interest only. Rather, company B, that means debenture B, is also charging rupees 100 but giving me 20 rupees as an interest. So that means as an investor, if I think, I will always go with debenture B because my returns are more. Over here I am getting 20% return and over here I am getting 10% return. Which means if every investor is going to purchase debenture B, the demand for debenture A will decrease. Now, if the demand for debenture A will decrease, and suppose one of the investor who has purchased the debenture A and he wants to sell his debentures, so no one is going to purchase his debenture if he is going to sell the debenture at rupees 100. Because the demand for debenture A is decreased. So now what he has to do? He has to sell the debentures at less price. Now, if he is going to sell the debenture at less price, maybe at 90, maybe at 80, maybe at 70. So that means if he is going to sell the debenture at 100 or more than 100, he is not going to sell his debenture. No one is going to purchase it. Now the question arises, till what price he should give the discount so that the other investor is also interested in purchasing the debenture A. So the answer is selling price should be 50. Now, if an investor, that means the person who is investing in debenture B and he is getting 20% return, and if the same investor is going to purchase the debenture of debenture A, that means you can say debenture of company A, if he purchase the debenture at rupees 50, he will get the 10 rupees as an interest. And if you will observe, the 10 rupees interest is exactly the same percentage that the debenture B is selling. So that means if I am an investor, I am going to purchase debenture A for rupees 50 and the company A is giving me the interest of rupees 10. So my return is 20%. I am getting 20% return also when I am investing in debenture A. So that means the prices are reduced at rupees 50. Now over here what we have observed, that when the market rate of interest, or you can say when KD is more than the coupon rate. If my coupon rate is 10% and KD is 20%, market rate of interest is 20%, the value of my debenture will decrease. And if the market rate of interest is less than the coupon rate, that means 10%, what my company is giving, the value of my company will increase, and so the share price, or so your debenture price. Maybe it's a share, maybe your debenture, the prices are going to increase. So there is an opposite relationship. Now, since I am selling my debenture at a discount for rupees 95, that means my KD should be increased. Because we have observed if the market price is more, my price will be decreased. So debenture price will be decreased when the market price is more. Now, if you will see at 10%, the share this debenture price is 134. I want to reduce it to 95, so I have to increase my percentage. So before moving further, you just have to remember the points. If the coupon rate is greater than the rate of return, that means rate of return over is KD. The value of bonds you can debentures will be more than the face value. And if the coupon rate is less than the rate of return or KD, the value of bond or debenture will be less than the face value. So we are right now moving in this part. Our coupon rate is 10% and the market rate of return should be more than 10% because our value is less than face value. And if the coupon rate is same as the market rate of return, the bond or debenture value will be same as the face value. In our case, our face value is 100, but our issue value is 95. So we are falling under this category. This is my category. So my price, that means my KD should always be more than my coupon rate. My coupon rate is 10%. So your KD will be more than 10%. Now what I have done, I have just I am able to bear that my KD should be more than 10%. So randomly I have taken the next KD to be 15%. And when I calculate the present value at the rate of 15%, I am getting this part. So that means at 15% also my value is coming to be 102. But our value is 95. So that means I have to increase the percentage. Now I am not going to increase the percentage. I am going to do the unitary method. Now at 10% when we calculate it, our answer is 134.48. But at 15% when I calculate it, my answer is 102. So now what you have observed that when the rate of interest is increased, then the market rate of interest is increased, the value is decreased. But our share price, our debenture price is 95. So that means my debenture, the issue price is even lower than 102. So that means my KD will be even more than 15%. So my 95 is lying over here. So it will be 10 plus some percentage, or I can say even 15 plus some percentage. Your answer will be more than 15%. So now how we are going to do it? We are going to use the unitary method. Unitary method means when we are able to know the cost price of any one product, we have to calculate the cost price for more than one product. For example, one toffee costs you 10 rupees. So 10 toffees will cost you 100 rupees. So if one price is known, you can calculate for more than that. So the same thing what I am going to do it over here. I am going to take the difference between percentage and difference between amount. Now you can see that if I jump from 10 to 15, that means 5% jump is there. So price is reduced by 134 and price has come to 102. So 5% jump, that means 5% difference creates the difference of 32.106 rupees. Now if I am going to calculate the difference of 1 rupee, so what I have done, I have taken 32.106 as a denominator. So 1 rupee difference is 5% upon 32.106. Now let's say I want to see the difference, how much percentage I should add to 10% so that I can get the answer. So I'll take a difference of 134 and 95. And if you will see the difference of 134 and 95, it comes to be 139.48. So now I am going to see how much amount of percentage or how much percentage is increased when the difference is for 39. So instead of taking or instead of presuming any other percentage more than 15%, we are going to do it with the unitary method. So rupees 39.48 will be equal to, that means the percentage will be equals to 5% upon 32.106 into 39.48, which comes out to be 6.148. So that means 10% plus 6.148 will be your answer. So 16.148% will be your exact answer for calculating the present value factor. That means my KD will be 16.148. Now let's verify it. So the amount, the same table I have taken, and now present value factor I have taken to be 16.148. I've calculated all the present value, and if you will see, your answer is coming to be near about 95. It's 96.96 and our sale value was 95. Okay. Now, when the taxes are there. Now, whenever the taxes are there, your annual interest rate will be 15, 1 minus t. That means tax rate was 50%. So, it's coming to be 7.5. Your redeemable value will not change because we never get the tax shield on the redeemable value. Your number of years remains same. Sale value is 95. Now on the number line, the difference is only for the interest amount. 7.5 will be your interest. Your amount is 95, and if we are going to do it with the same method, first of all I have supposed with the 10%. This is my value 88, but now the value is 95. So that means now again the opposite relationship is there. So again I took it by 15%. My answer came to be 64. So this is your answer. Now at 10% when I calculated the value is 88. At 15% when I calculate the value is 64. But our sale value was 95. So it's something over here. So that means now I have to reduce the percentage. So my answer will be 10% minus some percentage. So again the same thing. We are going to take the difference 10% to 15%, 5% and 88 and difference of 64. So 5% will create a difference of 23.6. So difference of 10 and 15 is 5% and difference of 88 and 64 is 23. Now again for 1 rupee will be 5% upon 23.6. And now what I am going to do, I am going to take the difference of 88 and 95. So I have seen how much difference is there in the amount. So that difference is 6.5 rupees. Difference of 88.495 and 95 is 6.5 approximately. So I just calculate the percentage is 5.23.6 into 6.5, which comes out to be 1.3. So what I have to do, I have to reduce this 10% by 1.3. So your answer is 8.7%. And if you remember, by approximation method, we are getting the same answer. So my KD is 8.7%. That's all for your cost of debt by the redeemable. For further reference, you can refer my book, Financial Management. Thank you.